main event, UFC 216, Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. Tony Ferguson wins. He wins the interim title. Kevin Lee took the loss like a man, showed up afterwards, was very emotional. Tough night for him, but handled it like a pro. He now joins us via the magic of Skype. There he is, Mr. Kevin Lee. I do believe in his new home in Las Vegas, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on?
It's good. It's good to see you. It's good to see you smiling. How are you doing a little over a week later?
I'm chilling. This last week has been great for me. My life been on like 10 for like the last year. So I really haven't gotten to take a day off. Since that Michael Chiesa fight, I didn't take a day off. So this last week, I just kind of, got stuff done around the house. Just been chilling. And it's been great for me. I think it's all actually going to work out for the best.
Really? So you have because I mean you were very emotional after that, and right. I mean, like I understand. You have every right to be emotional. You seem to take it very hard. Have you ever taken any? I mean, in all your years of competing as an athlete, have you ever taken any kind of sporting competition, athletic endeavor that hard?
Yeah. The loss to when I lost to Leonardo, I never saw myself losing that fight. And that one took me it took me about a month to get over and like kind of get through it. And that's what people don't understand about MMA is that we don't really have there was no amateur system. So, you got to go through those losses at a high level. And you got to go through those emotions. And I think that it's the same whether I lost a wrestling match or whether I lost a world title fight. I just learned how to deal with it a little bit better. And this time I feel like I learned a lot of good lessons, especially as I go back and I watched it twice already. When I go back and I actually watch the film, I learned a lot from in there, and that's all I can really hope for. Is it's a win, even if it's a loss.
When you're watching it, I mean, how frustrating is it? I mean, we were just talking to Karolina Kovacevic. She talked about her loss to Claudia Gadelha back in June. She said she watched it once. She doesn't even want to talk about it. Here you are a week later, you watch it twice. What's it like sitting there and actually watching the loss?
It's weird. It's strange because you know when you're in there, you don't really remember a lot of things. But I did a lot of things wrong in the fight. I did a lot of things wrong in my preparation. I was like, as soon as I walked into the building, I was ready to fight. And I just realized now that I have to control that a little bit more. I got a little too emotional. I let that kind of dictate. I let Tony kind of dictate the pace, and he actually taught me a lot of things. So when I go back and I sit back and I look at it and I realize I'm just gonna get better from here. I got so much better after my last loss. I feel sorry for the next guy I'm gonna fight, to be honest with you.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here, but first let me ask you about one of the big talking points after the fight, and that was the staph infection on your chest. How is that doing? How are you feeling as a result of that?
Yeah, it's much better. As you can see, it's like much smaller. I've been on 10 days of antibiotics, or I think this is the 8th day right now of antibiotics. So after 10 days, then I'll go back in. It looks like I might have to get some more antibiotics for it because it got so bad. I think the weight cut really didn't help with it. When you're in that weakened state and I'm not eating as many calories, like my body just didn't have the immune system to fight it off. And it affected a lot. It put me in like a fight or flight mode for too long. But it's going to be straight. I mean, look, I didn't deal with a lot worse than a staph infection. A staph infection wasn't going to stop me from fighting. Sure. It's some of these dudes that'll go to the hospital over it. But I'm like, fuck it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Let's do it.
Do you recall when you first noticed it? How long before the fight it popped up over there?
It was that Sunday. It was the Sunday before the fight. I noticed it. It was kind of hurting because we moved around a little bit on Monday morning. And it was hurting, but it wasn't hurting enough for me to really say nothing or it was so much riding on the line. There was so much weight. Even during the fight, like I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. So, I'm a professional. I make do with what I do. I made the weight the way I was supposed to. And we made the fight, and I feel like I entertained the people and people like the fight. So, that's all I can be happy for.
So throughout the entire week, you never brought it up to anyone, to the UFC, to the Nevada Athletic Commission. No one knew about this.
Nah. They was mostly, and I seen they got a little bit of backflack for letting me fight, but they were mostly just concerned about the weight. I think I did a pretty good job of hiding it. I knew when I came in and I took pictures. You can even see on the pictures because we had to take new ones for the shorts or whatever. I felt like I did a good job of using makeup and trying to hide it the best that I could. So I don't know if I should say that, and Nevada gonna come after me for that. But
so did you?
It wasn't really their fault.
We were sitting right in front of you when you're weighing in on Friday morning, and no one brought it up. It was only until Joe Rogan mentioned it on the broadcast. Were you annoyed that he mentioned it? Were you pissed off like that? Because I don't know if any people would have said anything.
Yeah, a little bit. It kind of do take away from it, and it kind of take away from Tony too. I thought Tony did a great job even with the staph infection. It kind of takes a little bit away from the performance, but it's the truth, and it is what it is. So I always like to do that with people. I always like to tell people the way it is, and that's how it is. So I guess I can't really hold it against him. I was a little annoyed at first that he would bring it up, but it's clear.
Yeah. But so you weren't worried when you were stepping on the scale on Friday that people would notice it and say something and pull you from the fight?
Oh no, I was just 100% worried about the weight. At that point, it became me against the scale. And I think you can even see that a little bit. That weight cut was brutal, especially the last 2 hours. So that was my main focus right then and there. I wasn't going to let down everybody just, because I couldn't make the weight. So that was my main focus, was making the weight. I didn't care about the staff. I didn't care about my performance even. My main focus right then and there was to make the weight. And you can even see it after I made the weight. Everything just collapsed in me. I really didn't have much energy left after that. And it was just go out there and fight.
And let's clear something up. On Wednesday, you didn't really have tiramisu, right? You were just messing with us.
No, I was just fucking with y'all. No,
Okay,
I ain't that stupid. Come on.
But you did, when you were talking to the media on Thursday, did you really weigh at that time 174? Did you really have 19 pounds left to cut?
Yeah, I was about 175 actually when I got back to the hotel room, and so about 20 pounds actually. So I think I cut like 20 and a half pounds in that time. Which it sounds crazy to other people, but because I carry a lot of muscle mass, I'm able to cut a lot more water than, and I've done these cuts so many times. I usually will come in at like 176 the week of the fight, and then have to be 156. So you're still looking at about a 20-pound cut. This time about 175. So everything was about normal. It just was the pressure of the event, the staff. It was a little too much for my brain to handle, and my body didn't want to keep up with it.
Would you say this was your toughest cut of your career? I mean, even as a wrestler, you've never experienced anything like this?
Yeah, absolutely. At 8 o'clock, I think I still weighed like 161 pounds.
Wow.
Which means I only had 3 hours to get off, close to 6 pounds, which it just was brutal. It just, look, I did what I had to do. I mean, it is what it is. Like it sucked, but I made it, bro.
Could you tell, like, how bad did it get? Like, what was the lowest moment?
It got pretty. I'm just glad that the embedded crew wasn't around, because that you probably should put that on film. It got bad. I mean, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll make some adjustments from here. I'm looking at the 165-pound division if they open that up. If not, I might stay at 55 and just maybe have to change my approach. I'm not sure. So we'll see. I think I come with the best approach to it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of gonna let it stew and see how the division shakes up and see where I come back at.
I know you said like you would have died. You were gonna make weight, but was there any point where you thought you weren't gonna make weight? Like this was getting to be too much?
Yeah, at the when it was only like 20 minutes left, and I think I still had 2 pounds to cut at that time.
Gosh.
I was like, oh man, it ain't gonna be no way. They were taking boiling hot water and tossing it into the bathtub with me to get me to, so that we could lose the weight. But at that point, I thought that it was too little time. But then when they said I had the extra hour, I knew I was gonna make it. It just was a matter of time. It just was getting in there and suffering through it. But cool.
So that's the fascinating thing. You get on the scale at 11 on the dot, and it looks like you're confident. And Bob Bennett says 150, and you put your hands up, and he says 156, and you're like, damn. And then he announces that you have that extra hour. Did you know that you had that extra hour? Because we didn't know. No one informed us. I've been to many Nevada weigh-ins, and they never mentioned that before. Did you know that you had the extra hour the whole time?
No, I didn't know until maybe right before I stepped on the scale. I was just hoping that it was 155,
Yeah.
but I knew it was. I knew I was like at least a pound.
Oh,
Because I
man.
had 2 pounds left with only 20 minutes. It was no way I got off 2 pounds. I was just hoping. We didn't even check. We just ran down there and hopped right on the scale. But no, when they told me I had the extra hour, they told me maybe like right before I walked out on.
So isn't that a problem? Isn't that something that you should know? Like when you check in on Tuesday, that just in case you have that extra hour, like wouldn't that have been something that would have helped you out in this process? Like just knowing that you had that buffer?
Yeah, it would have been a big stress relief. They really could have told me at like 8:00, even when I went down there and checked them. They could have told me like, hey, you got an extra hour if you need it. They kept coming up there. They, Novinsky and all the doctors, they kept coming up and checking on me in my hotel room and making sure I was all right. But nobody ever said it until like 10 minutes before, and I've been stressing out this whole time. I mean, like, damn, like y'all could have said something, but we got the job done.
What did you do in that hour? Like at this point, you're completely dehydrated and depleted. How did you lose that extra pound? Pound and a half, actually, to be exact.
Just in a hot water bath. That's the way I do all of them.
Okay.
I tried to sit in that little sit sauna thing where your head is exposed, and but it wasn't getting nothing off. So we went back up. They threw some more boiling hot water on me, and I got it off.
And I mean, you played it off very well. You were confident. You were fired up. But in the back of your mind, was there any part of you that's like, man, I just took too much out of myself leading up to the most important fight of my life? Like, did it drop your confidence a little bit going through that before the fight?
Yeah, and I think that's what made me be in such a high state. Like you could even see it in the weigh-ins. I was pretty, I was like emotional, and it made me like a little too emotional. And I think that did have something to do with it because I gave so much to that weight cut. I honestly just forgot about the fight even during that process. So when I got back into it and saw Tony in front of me, it just was nothing but anger and emotion. And now that I've been through that and kind of understand that, I feel like I'll do a better job of handling that going forward. Like I said, I feel sorry for my next opponent because I learned a lot about not just about fighting, but about myself even during this. So I'm taking it as a win.
What's the biggest lesson that you learned from the entire experience? You mentioned that a couple of times now. What are one or two things that you really took away with from the experience?
I like Tony's approach better than mine, to be honest.
How so?
During the fight, his energy was better. He just I could just see it wasn't really a physical thing, I don't think physical my skills I think way outweigh Tony's. He just had the little mental edges here and there. He stayed more calm, especially in the early going, and didn't blow out as much energy. So I learned a lot about it. And it's just like those little tiny details of the game. Like even the way he was controlling me from the guard. I've never had somebody do that. Or even he took a more holistic approach to the game. And it's really going to be something that now that I got a little bit of time, I'm going to take some time off. I fought a lot in this last year. I'm going to take some time, get back in the gym, and just have fun with training again and start to experiment with new things. Even the way he moved was a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing. And I feel like that's that time that he's put into the game. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to change up my style. I always like to after a fight anyway, but I'm going to change up my style a lot more and come back even stronger.
Was Tony better than you expected him to be now that you actually fought him?
He was tougher. He was tougher than I expected. I got to give it to him. He a tough son of a bitch. I thought I was hitting him with some big shot. I could see his eyes getting big, and him starting to worry about him. But the man never stopped. I got to give it to him. He's going to be a tough. I said it before the fight that he was the toughest fight in the division, and now I'm saying it even more. He definitely is. I feel like I'm right there where it's just going to be some things that I got to change up in the game, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to smash.
What do you think happens if he fights Conor McGregor? Who do you pick?
Oh, Tony for sure. Conor hits hard, but he doesn't have the size, especially to deal with that forward pressure. Tony doesn't over lunge himself. He leaves his chin up, but he's got a good reach and he's got good understanding of the distance. So I don't feel like he'll over lunge and be exposed to those counter punches. And on the ground, he should murk McGregor, especially as it gets late in the fight. McGregor's best chance would be to knock him cold in the first, and it just ain't gonna happen. And McGregor don't have that much power.
Do you think McGregor will actually fight him?
No, not really. If he's smart, he wouldn't. His coaches are gonna try and keep him as far from Tony as possible. I said it before the fight. I thought I was doing the heavy lifting. I thought if I would have won, then it was a hands down that me and McGregor would fight. But we'll see. That's why I'm gonna give it some time. I'll see what McGregor does. If he's the real champ, like how you say, he should come back and fight Tony. I mean, it's hands down. Tony was the number one contender before our fight, and then he just solidified it. So it should be no other fight to be made. But knowing them and knowing his coaches, they probably gonna try and play it the smart way and keep him away from Tony.
Yeah. Did it make the loss tougher to swallow because you could have potentially gotten that lottery ticket? That's a life changer fight, right? Fighting Conor, as far as the money is concerned. Did it make it tougher?
I mean, yeah, but I'm all right. Look, all right. Look, I still got a long time left in this game too.
That's true.
Like I said, I'm taking it as a win. I get a little bit of time off. I get a little bit of getting back in the gym and not having to think of it as a job. For this last year, I fought 4 times, and each camp is more stress and more obligations. So this time I get to take a little bit of time and really get to change up my style. When you in camp, you don't really get to improve too much. You kind of stay. You're just kind of getting into shape. I don't really get to focus on my technique. I just have the game plan from fight to fight. So now I get some time. I'm taking it as a win all around the board. Look, me and McGregor gonna end up fighting anyway. So I'm in this game for a long time. He better stay in this game for a long time. We gonna get it in. It's just he know too. He know now. I'm gonna put that boy on his back. I'm gonna fuck him up.
Okay, all right. I'm happy to see that you're taking that approach. You mentioned 165 a few times. I couldn't agree with you more. I'd love to see 165. I'd love to see 165, 175, 185, 195. And I think that there are a lot of lightweights who would agree with you. Do you think it actually happens? Like by the time you fight again, do you actually think it's going to happen, or is this kind of just a dream that you possess, like a pie in the sky type of thing?
I've been talking with all the people down at the UFC. I don't see why I don't. Nowitzki is pushing forward hard. Okay. I think pretty much everybody is. So I think they just need the bodies and a little more people speaking out about it. I think a lot of 55ers would agree. I think a lot of 170 pounders would agree. Just not a lot of people talk about it. So I think that they should. And the more we keep it on, that's the only way that the sport is going to change and it's going to keep evolving. MMA is still so young. It's still so many things to be added. I don't see why we do it the way we do just because that's what's been done. Yeah. They can add another weight class and it'll be fine. You create a new top 10, new champions, new contenders. I see it as a win-win-win all around the board. So we'll see. I don't know. I think it's a no-brainer to do it. There's so many guys at 155, so many guys at 170. Why not?
Will you be going to Detroit for 218, like as a guest? I know you won't be fighting now, but do you want to be there? Will you be going?
Yeah, I'm definitely going. going. Like I said, I just got this. I moved in the middle of training camp, so I've been getting my house together. It's smooth. After this, I'm gonna go. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna end up in Detroit one way or another. I might do something before. Might have to shoot over to LA for a couple of days or something like that. But
what's in LA?
I'm in Detroit.
What's in LA?
Hold on. I can't give you it all.
You're not fighting though in Detroit. Are you going to fight in Detroit? You're not going to fight in Detroit, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think they would let me.
That would be insane.
Nevada ain't going to let me do that. I would, but they wouldn't let me.
Do you think that's gonna hurt your heart a little bit that night, or you're happy to just be a fan and watch? No,
I'm enjoying myself. I'm gonna have a few beers. I'm gonna have some family and friends around. I'm enjoying myself. I'm sitting in the crowd. I ain't got the gold belt, like I said, like I promised them, but I'm gonna still do the same things. I'm gonna go back. I'll go to a couple of the high schools, a couple of seminars. That's here cool. And there. Pop into some gyms, shake some hands, kiss some babies, do the whole shebang.
So what's the plan? Probably take the rest of the year off. return in early 2018. Is that accurate? What are the chances that you actually fight at 170 in your next fight? Is that even possible?
Yeah, no, it's definitely possible. We'll just see. We'll just see how the division shakes up. It's even a possibility that I go back to 55. You know, if I take some time and I really change kind of the makeup of my body. You know, these constant weight cuts. You know, I've had 4 weight cuts in a row. They really mess with my endocrine system. Really mess with your hormones. So I don't know if I can get it stable. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how I shake up. I still have a great frame for 155. I feel like I can change up a couple things, especially like in my diet and my approach, and not be so all over the place. I just need some constant like stability. But like I said, I'm still young. I'm still growing, and I'm still in this game, and I'm gonna be in it for a long time. And I'm coming back, and I'm gonna fuck somebody up. I tell you that.
All right. Anyone come to mind, or too early?
Still a little too early. I'll see how Eddie and Justin shake up, especially. Look, I'll make that weight cut just to punch Eddie in the face. So we'll see.
What's your beef with Eddie?
We'll see how this is going.
What's your beef with Eddie?
What's that?
What's your beef with Eddie?
I ain't really got no. I see him around. You know, they filmed here in Vegas.
Yeah.
I keep seeing him around. You know, he keep giving me compliments and asking for autographs and shit. So I don't know. He just bothering me. So we'll see. We'll see after this one shakes up how it works out.
Yes, I know you were trying to push for the Ultimate Fighter, and you had that moment where I think he signed your shirt or something, or you signed his. Who signed whose shirt?
Yeah, he tossed me a jersey and I made him sign it. So I'm gonna take that jersey. I still gotta rip it up and use it in my fireplace over there.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, you'll have.
But I got a team. I got an authentic signed Team Alvarez jersey. So
wow.
If anybody wanted it, holler at your boy. I'll throw it on eBay.
And you'll have a front row seat to watch them in Detroit. Glad to see that you're handling it well, like a pro, honestly. And it was a lot of fun, you know, watching you and just kind of seeing you in that main event spot for the first time. You made it entertaining for us, especially. Go ahead.
Oh, well, no, I mean that's what I was hoping for. You know, it seemed like people liked the fight.
Yeah.
It seemed like people were entertained even. You know, we kind of got stuck in a bag rap. You know, I know we didn't do great pay-per-view numbers, but it's hard when you coming off Mayweather McGregor and then Canelo out and GGG, which sold like a couple million pay-per-view buys. So I think we were stuck in a tough spot, but you know, I tried to make the best of it and keep the folks, the hardcore fans especially, keep them entertained and let them have some fun out there, especially with everything that was going on in Vegas. And
absolutely,
you know, I had a lot of people come after me for it, so it was pretty good.
You did a great job. Get well soon. Looking forward to the return, and I'm sure we'll see you out there in Detroit. Looking forward to that as well. Little Caesars Arena. How about that? Can't wait.